Hi folks, it's Chef Kevin. Happy New Year 2019. What I'm making tonight is weight loss cabbage soup. Now I've been cruising through YouTube and came across several of these weight loss cabbage soup videos, and I'm going to make my own, which is more chefy than most of them. Most of them are home cook, and I'm going to give you a nice recipe for the soup. Now, it's been purported that after a week of eating the soup, you lose anywhere from 6 to 8 pounds. So I'm going to make this as an experiment as well. I'm going to make the soup and eat it and see if I can lose weight. Now, a lot of people, especially this time of year, want to lose weight, but two reasons why people don't stick to their diets is the fact that a lot of them don't know how to cook, or they're just too lazy to make the food. So this looks very overwhelming. There's a lot of ingredients here, but I'm going to take you through the process step by step and show you exactly how easy it's going to be. I'm going to make about 10 quarts of soup. Most of them I will put in the freezer. I'm going to eat one a day, probably during lunch. I feel that soup is a very good diet food because it's a hot food and it has a lot of bulk to it. So it's more satisfying than, say, a cold salad or something like that. So, not only that, but I'm going to be eating more salads and going to go fat-free and low-carb. So I'll be eating a lot of chicken, fish, turkey, and so on. Now, cabbage soup, the primary ingredient, of course, is cabbage. And cabbage is one of the healthiest vegetables around. In fact, as far back as 200 BC, Cato the Elder, he was a Roman senator, historian, and agriculturalist, realized the health benefits of cabbage. In fact, he suggested that women take baths in urine from women who ate cabbage. Now that may be taken a little bit too far, but they really knew back then that it was healthy for you. Now that's a good reason why you should be watching my channel, because I'll throw out tidbits of information like that, and you can use those at dinner parties. You can be like, did you know Cato the Elder suggested bathing in urine? Okay. They're very high in vitamin C, vitamin K, B6, folic acid, and dietary fiber. Let's take a closer look at what I have here. I have 5 cans, 48 ounces each, College Inn, low salt, fat-free. I have a huge head of green cabbage here. I have some rosemary. I tied in a bundle with some string. I have 2 cans, 28 ounces each, of crushed Italian tomatoes. Also have a huge onion. I have 4 peppers, 4 bell peppers, different colors. Now you don't have to have the different colors of peppers. You can just use one if you'd like. But when you have something that looks colorful, then chances are it's going to be more attractive and it's going to be better tasting, at least in your mind, because of all the colors. So now you can use, you can put a jalapeno pepper in here if you'd like. it doesn't really matter so much. I have a box of baby Bella mushrooms. I have some ginger. Ginger is one of the healthiest vegetables around. So are tomatoes, by the way. I have some bay leaves. Give it a nice aromatic quality. Black pepper, sea salt, and I have some cumin here. Cumin has a nice earthy taste. It's nice aromatic. It's not hot. So you can use whatever vegetables you really like, because you're the boss of your soup.
You're calling me a liar, right? Is that what you're calling me?
Let's just say, I want things to stay the way they are for now. You stole your deal with Sosa.
Stole it. Okay, boss. Come on.
I am the boss.
Hey, you're the boss.
Hey, Tony.
Okay, these are my bell peppers. I washed them. I first took off those annoying little labels that you usually have on these. Then I washed them. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut them up. You want to remove that inner web. Best way to do that is just cut down the sides. Just like that. The top, just cut around the stem and discard. Now, these shouldn't be big pieces. They're more or less like a medium. Of course, they're going to reduce as they cook down because vegetables are mainly water. So, as you can see, most of the pieces are pretty much the same, and that's what you want to try to do. As for the mushrooms, these are baby Bella. I'm going to just cut off the very base because it's dried out and it's been exposed to God knows what. And basically, I'm going to cut them in threes. Some are bigger, so cut them in smaller pieces. You get the idea. There's no rocket scientists here. Okay, the onion. This is a huge Spanish onion. You can use whatever onion you like. They're pretty much all the same. Cut off the ends. Remove the skin. Get cut it in half again. And then basically I'm going to julienne them, which means thin strips. And basically they'll just fall apart. Okay, as far as the ginger goes, what I'm going to do, cut off those nubs. This one got a little bad spot there. I'm going to take it and shave it down with a potato shaver, and then I'm going to cut them into small chunks and put them into the food processor. Okay, so let me get this started, and I'll be right back. Okay, folks, excuse me, I have my 12-quart pan on the burner, and this is a stainless steel pan, and this is what it needs to be. You cannot use aluminum because we're using a tomato product. If you use aluminum, it will react with the tomatoes, and then you have sort of a funky metallic taste, and that's not what you're looking for. So it's nice and hot. The oil is nice and hot. I'm going to go ahead and dump in my onions first, and what I'm going to do is what they call sweating them down. I'm just going to make them translucent. And this is what you want to do. When you have onions, you don't want to just use raw onions. I've seen that done in some of the videos. This way it takes the harshness of the onions away. It caramelizes the onions, makes it much better. So I'm just going to finish up my food prep here. The mushrooms I did wash. I don't know if I mentioned that to you before. I also wiped them down to get all the growth off of them. Try to cut everything in the same shape. This way it all cooks evenly. Okay, it's going to sweat out probably another 3 minutes perhaps. I almost made a mistake, folks. I forgot the carrots and the celery. This is an essential ingredient. Carrots and celery are in just about every soup. Okay, the onions are translucent. They're not browned. I did add some cumin, so it does look brown. Now I added the cumin early on. This way it'll roast out into the base much better. This soup is already smelling so good. Go ahead and dump the carrots and celery into the pot. I'm going to saute that down 3-4 minutes, and then I'll be adding my other products. I'm going to start by adding the crushed tomatoes. I already cleaned the top of the can. You should always clean the top of the can because you don't know where that can has been. Okay, I'm going to let this saute down. I'll be right back. Cooking away nicely here, folks. Sweating them down. I'm going to go ahead and add the 2 cans crushed tomato sauce. Sorry, crushed tomatoes. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 can for now of the chicken broth. You can use vegetable broth, or you can actually use beef broth if you'd like. Now this is store-bought, as you can see. I'd rather use my own chicken stock, but for logistic reasons it just wouldn't work out this time. I'm going to go ahead and add my veggies. That's the remainder of the peppers. Peppers and mushrooms. I'm going to bring this up to a boil and then let it simmer for about 45 minutes. This is a vegetable soup. You do not have to cook the hell out of it. It's not like a chicken soup. When I make a chicken stock, I cook it for 12 hours. But vegetables are very delicate. I'm not adding any salt at this time, or any peppers, any black pepper I should say. I'll do that at the end. I don't want to add the black pepper too soon because it may make it a bitter product. I'm going to go ahead and put my ground ginger in there. Ginger is one of the healthiest vegetables around. Going to go ahead and prep my cabbage. Going to go ahead and prep my cabbage. This is a green cabbage. There's several different varieties of cabbage. This is probably the most common. Go ahead and take off that stem. Now I'm going to go ahead and just pull off the outer leaves. Some of these have been damaged, some of these have been exposed. You don't know where your cabbage has been. So I want to get that off. Very easy. Voila. Go ahead and cut that right in half. You can see how dense the cabbage is. This is almost solid. I'm going to cut it in half again. Again in half. And now I'm going to thin slice it. And there you have it. This is all going to cook down because, like I said, vegetables are primarily water. I'm going to go ahead and put my rosemary in. I'm going to wait till I have all the cabbage prepped, and then I'll put the cabbage in and add more broth. Alright folks, actually this is just half a head of cabbage. I think I need a bigger pot. Gonna go ahead and top it off with more broth. Alright, there it is folks. I'm going to bring this to a boil. I'm going to cover it, bring it to a boil, and then let it simmer for about 45 minutes or so. And then I'll show you how to cool it down quickly. Okay folks, so this has been simmering for 45 minutes. All the vegetables are nice and tender. All the spices have melded together. I put a little bit of cayenne pepper in there just to give it a little heat. And I just want to say that earlier I said it doesn't matter what vegetables you use, but you want to keep to vegetables that are low starch. So no corn, no potatoes, and no peas. This is supposed to be a healthy meal. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to what they call shock it, which is to reduce the temperature very quickly. You do not want vegetable soup to be lingering around hot because it may become bitter. So watch how I do this. Okay, I did add some salt to this. There's nothing wrong with salt. Salt is not the killer. Salt is a flavor enhancer. And I also added some black pepper to taste. And I did taste it, of course. And the first thing I noticed was there's a very nice taste of ginger. If you're into ginger, you will love this soup. I only wish I had some garlic. I actually forgot to get the garlic. Garlic is one of the healthiest vegetables around, and that would have made it a little bit better, but I think all things considered, this is the first time that I'm making this soup. It came out really well. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm shocking it. I'm just reducing the temperature quickly. You don't want vegetable soup to be lingering around hot. So this is a regular kitchen sink here. I have 2 bags of ice and I'm filling it with cold water. And the soup will cook down very quickly, 15-20 minutes, and then I can decant it into smaller containers. Okay folks, this is 11 quarts of cabbage soup, weight loss cabbage soup. The cook time was approximately 1 hour. Prep time was another hour. And each quart costs about $3.37. So I don't know exactly how much that compares to a Whopper, but I know this is much healthier. So the experiment starts tomorrow. I'm going to have one each day. And I'll make another video in a week from today. And we'll see if this actually works. So thanks for watching, and have a good night.